What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we are here with Runers one more time. I don't even know what episode we're on right now. I block record, and I just kind of lose track after the number 5. It's always been a trouble number for me. Even through my younger years, the number 5, it's the gateway to my own mathematical misery. So I think what we're going to do today is we're just going to keep playing Runers on Wimpy because I'm terrible at this game and I just can't seem to survive. You will see that a score that just like 4 or 5 days ago had us like in the top 200 now has us like in the top 600. We got bumped down. No, I'm lying. We weren't even in the top. We were like 330 or something like that. I'm over-exaggerating as usual. It's a special skill of mine. It's like a racial skill. Like, you know in like D&D when you make your character, you get like bonuses based on what race that you've picked? Well, when you pick Splattercat as a race, you get bonuses to exaggeration because it makes your stories more bombastic and explosive. But without further ado, let's go ahead. We're going to jump straight on into a Wimpy playthrough. I think I'm going to go with... Let's go with... I really like Nature's Caress. It is quite awesome. However, today, I think I'm going to go with... Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Curse of the Shade. That's actually my consistent... It's one of my more consistent favorite ones. If you really like getting 5% to your stats... We haven't done human, have we? Did we do a human on the first one? Let's do a human. We'll just take the stat bonus for right now and see if that helps out at all. What else? Duels a lot and wins occasionally. I don't think that he duels that much because he's still alive. Aren't duels typically like to the death? Isn't that like the sort of thing, or are they to the pain? But anyways, charge at a point doing area damage. Doesn't sound too awesome. Charge does high damage. I don't know why I would want to be close to most enemies. That's my only concern about both of these abilities, is that without some kind of defensive bonus, I guess you could run Golem with that since you're going to be charging enemies every now and again. Rangers are crafty. They shoot arrows and tame wild pigs to be their companions. Why pigs? Why not? Oink. Well, knowing what I know about boars, they can be pretty mean. I mean, I'd take a pet boar over like a pet... Honestly, just about anything. Boars are terrifying. If you live in an area that has boars in the United States, oh my god. Boars will destroy everything. They're so powerful that they destroy nature itself. Like, they wipe out indigenous species like crazy. In fact, they have that problem in Hawaii right now. They're actually trying to exterminate all the pigs in Hawaii because the boars are just wiping out indigenous life just left and right. Like, they're killing off just all kinds of species because they uproot the soil and everything. But that's not the point of all this. I'm gonna start playing the game a little bit more efficiency, kind of going with things that I've already had. I do like playing the Bard very, very much. I like his ability because when things get close to you, you can get like a GTFO mode, basically, where you can push people back. This guy he throws a weapon in front of him. Let's try the Warrior out, actually. His ability seems kind of cool. I'm gonna start with... What is Corruption? I know Chaos Bolt goes like in a random direction, so I don't see that being that useful for a starting ability. I'll probably just start with Spark like I normally do because I sincerely do like Spark. And so we just went with a human barbarian today, and we'll see how this all works out for us. I can't tell you if we're going to do any better or any worse. It is kind of strange that we've got a warrior who has the ability to fire lightning all over the place, but I think that he's just going to be kind of a disciple of the Thunder God. That's what we can say. The lamentation of our enemies. Anyways. Hello, women. Go ahead and destroy some crates. We got ourselves a treasure room. Who doesn't love treasure rooms? I love treasure rooms, especially when they're filled with orange soda and Diet Coke and all those things in life that I love. And wow, they're actually kind of like front stocking this a little bit. If only the chests gave us experience, but murdering chests, it provides no experience. They're not that great of a sparring partner. They just kind of sit there like a bump on a log or a lump made out of logs or a cube made out of logs. Oh my god, can we please fight something? There we go. Enemies all around us. So we've got a couple of pyromancers. We got some rats. We got some rat dens that we should probably take care of. Oh, we also have one of those targety brain things, but it doesn't appear to be working against us right now. I want to try my... Ooh, that was awesome. I enjoyed that. That was thoroughly entertaining. I'm going to try and stay away from getting hit with any of that. Let's destroy this den down here. We got a darkness rune right off the bat. Oh, and we don't want to get trapped. That would be terrible, although that is a little bit ironic, the mouse actually trapping us. Being trapped with mice, I mean, I guess it would only be ironic if we were playing a game about, like, trapping mice, and then the mice ended up trapping us. But anyways, you know what I mean. It's coincidental, but it's also slightly humorous, because mice tend to get trapped, and so they're trapping us, and therein lies the humor. Oh, God! Let's kill ourselves a pyromancer. Okay, zappity zappity, zippity zoppity. There we are. Will you hold still, rat? Yeah, rata. And it looks like we got an entropy rune. That's fine. let's go for the enchanted room right now, but I want to be careful on the first floors like I always do. I have been playing on my own a little bit, although not a whole lot to be honest. I started picking up EVE Online again, and I may do an LP on EVE Online for a little while. Just because I've been watching Jeff Major's playthrough. A lot of people might not know this, but I do actually watch LPs as well. There's a number of LPers that I really like. I like BOO, I like Jeff Major. I watch a couple different LPers pretty consistently, actually. I watch Dawes a lot too, like Dawes158 something rather. I know he's got like a million numbers at the end of his name. Got to work on that branding, but I watch all of his strategy playthroughs, but especially I watch Dawes when I want to learn how to play a game typically because he's very, very thorough. In fact, he's pretty much the exact opposite of me. Like, he's super thorough and talks about all the things that are actually, they matter to the gameplay. I talk about things that don't matter, and like how I stubbed my toe earlier and how I bought a whole bunch of rutabagas at the store and just like random conversational topics, but different strokes and different styles for different people. But I do watch a lot of LPs, and I've been watching Jeff Major's EVE Online playthrough, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, I made a new account. I used some random buddy code that I found online, so hooray for that guy. He apparently got a bunch of free stuff from me resubscribing. I don't really care. It got me an extra 7 days in my trial. I have another account. I have like 3 accounts for EVE, and each one has like a pretty level dude on it. Like, not super level. I don't remember my SP counts or anything. Basically, back in the day, in like 2005, I played EVE Online for maybe 6 months, and I haven't played since then. I had 2 accounts back then, and they were both doing like different things, and that was back before I think like exploration and whatnot were even in the game. I remember basically like piracy was what you did back then. But I made a new account, and so I'm playing. I want to start salvaging, actually. I wanted to play the game because I like the exploration system. I was watching Jeff Major play around with exploration, and also because I wanted to mess around with salvaging, and so I'll probably play that for a couple months. I've also been looking at Project Gorgon. I haven't decided if it's going to be a weekly indie newcomer. You might be able to tell, but I've had like an MMO itch the last couple days. Like, I've been watching other people play MMOs, and I've been really contemplating getting back into the MMO scene. And my first thought was possibly playing Darkfall Unholy Wars, because I've heard that it's actually gotten a lot better since it released. And I tend to prefer more hardcore MMOs versus like, I like sandboxy hardcore MMOs a lot more than I enjoy like theme park MMOs. That's not to say I don't play theme park MMOs, but I just prefer one over the other given the option. And so I've been checking out Project Gorgon a little bit. That was a suggestion from one of the Nerdcastle Elite, and it's an interesting little game. It definitely is. I don't have enough time in-game right now to really talk about it in any sort of depth, but I may do a weekly indie newcomer on it pretty soon because I do like some of the ideas that the developers are playing with. It's kind of like Second Life in a fantasy world, in that the developers are doing a lot of things with the game that aren't typically done with MMOs anymore. And so it's got a lot of influences from like Ultima Online to like early, I don't know, pre-Luckland EverQuest, just all kinds of cool stuff going on with it that I am interested in kind of sticking with and checking out. The game is free right now, so you can just go to their website and log onto the servers right this second if you want to play. I'm going to get busy electrifying this enormous rat because I feel like I've gotten a little bit off subject. The health on this thing is insane. My God. I don't even know what to do with you right now, rat. I mean, I'm zapping you, but it doesn't really seem to be having the consequences that I was hoping for. I think you might actually be getting stronger from my lightning, which is 100% not what I was working towards. Now, as I understand it, this sword explodes when it hits walls and stuff, too. So it's actually, you want to, I was trying to hit that wall right there so that it would get the stun off, too. The sword actually seems like it has a lot of extra status effects. Ah, damn it, I was going to try and step on him on the way by, but it didn't work out the way that I wanted to. He will not be stepped on. He's been listening to Beyonce. He's getting himself pumped up in the car before he got to work today. They all arrive. Actually, there's a pretty sizable parking garage right outside this dungeon. It lets you get a pretty good feel for how many monsters are going to be in here. It's at least 4 or 6 floors. It reminds me of the things you see when you go into the city. But I think they charge a little bit too, if you're a non-employee, they charge a little bit too much for parking. Like if you're just a tourist, for example, I left my Camry outside. That's right, my Barbarian came here in a Camry. There's nothing wrong with that. And so I left my Barbarian Camry outside. It's basically just a normal Camry, just with lots of furs and things hanging on it. Grizzly strength? I don't know if I want the strength of a grizzly right now. I don't know if I could bear it. Oh! Banshee Whale, whenever you cast your class. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the Banshee Whale. Yeah, that seems like it'll help out a little bit, especially since we don't want to be closing ground with anything. Do I have any abilities right now to... I don't have any combiners. However, I can make myself a Mind Spike real fast, and so that'll at least increase our DPS slightly. Now, what I want to do in this playthrough, the things that I'd like to change in between here and our previous runs, is obviously I'm not getting better at the game. And so that means I've got to come up with ways to sort of like artificially increase my skill cap, which how I balance this in other games is typically I just stick to like metagame knowledge. And so I may start playing around with some of the spells I've discovered in my other playthroughs instead of trying to go through sort of empirically and systematically and unlock things by like perfect matches. I may just start locking things in just sort of randomly by what sounds cool, like combining darkness, and fire, for example. Like, how could that combination ever come out not awesome? We've got a room over here, living statues. Okay. And so we can only hit these when they're awake, so I need to draw these guys. We actually probably only want to use lightning on this one, because the piercing shots could hit the other statues. Oh, we have a lightning mage up here. Okay. Let's go ahead and wipe him out. We got a... I'm not even sure. I think he's using kinesis or something like that. Oh, the statues actually are... Okay. Never mind then. There we go. The statues repetrified themselves. We've completed the living statues event, and I'm interested in 5% more damage, possibly. I mean, even... That doesn't seem to be that helpful, though. All things considered, the most damage I've seen be dealt in this game is 7, and so at best you're only getting like 0.35 out of a really slow casting spell. I may actually go for density, make my spells a little bit larger. I read that on a wiki. I've been actually doing a little bit of studying in between my playthroughs because I do think I want to bring my game up to the next level. I need to play... The problem is I'm playing too much right now. I've got EVE Online going. I've got Borderlands 2. I've got like 5 different games running. And in fact, I've been thinking about recording one now because the stream has been going really, really well. I was surprised by how much people enjoyed Borderlands 2 on the stream. Like, people were really, really excited to see me playing it. And so I may try and transfer some of that over to the channel pretty soon. But I need, like, room on my schedule at the moment. Until that happens, I can't really guarantee anything because we've got a lot of games running right now. We got a lot of games running. We're getting closer. Actually, you're not getting closer, but I'm almost done with Red Faction Guerrilla. And the worst case scenario right there is that after I finish Red Faction Guerrilla on my own, what I may do is just start uploading it every day so that we can start working on something else and just have 3 videos a day for a little while. But still no minds made up right there. 2% crit chance versus 1 mind, 3 move speed. I am using Mind Spike. That would increase something, but I'm going to go with the crit chance. I love crit. Let's go ahead and we will descend down to floor number 2, unless that's a stairwell that magically goes upwards, even though it gives the appearance of going downwards. Faux stairs. It's got one of those Winchester Mystery House things going on. The Winchester Mystery House is a trip. You should under no circumstances get high out of your mind and go on a tour of that place, because it will baffle you. I'm going to throw... Oh my god. Please stay clustered up like that. Yes, just like that. Stay clustered. There used to be a cereal when I was a little kid called Clusters that was like the greatest thing ever. I don't know if they had that in like other countries, but in California, which is not a country, it is a state of the union. But we had this cereal called Clusters, and it had like a squirrel on the container. It was just like, yeah, give me them nuts. Like, I don't know. It had some ridiculously terrible slogan like, give me them nuts or something like that. But it was still... Oh, I have a combiner right now? When did I get a combiner? I didn't even see myself pick that up. Ooh, let's go darkness and entropy. Yes, those two things seem like they would go together. Reverberation fires a dark chunk that has a chance to stun the enemy on hit. It's just a little bit more bitter than the standard milk chocolate chunk. In an area around the target. Oh, actually it AoEs? That might be cool. Okay, so we'll play around. What is this? Portal Protector. Waves of imps will assault the prized portal. It must be protected at all costs. I think I always fail this. Let me get... Oh, that fires really fast. No way. Oh, I'm excited about this now. Yeah, buddy. There we go. I've only got to kill... I like this a lot. Wait, I got stunned? Why did I get stunned? Does it sometimes stun me, or can I get caught in my own AoE? Because that's troublesome. Oh, I can get caught in my own AoE. Oh, that's badsies. So that explains why the spell is so good. Because it can actually affect me. I'm going to go with a double combiner right here, even though the Dark Rune is tempting. We've got a level up going, so we get to select ourselves a Trait. I think that I will go with Arcane Guardian. Doesn't seem to be that great from what I've seen so far. Gain 15% armor, but have a 10... Ooh... I think I might just go with the... Let's go with... We never go with Inventor, so I'm going to go with Inventor. Hopefully we'll do a lot of combinations on this playthrough. So unfortunately, can I buff the range of this so that it's not so close to me? Bias? What the hell does Bias do? I've never seen a spell that has a problem with Bias. It's like one of those Rupert Murdoch spells. Anyways, we can go with, I think this, that gives you kinetic bolt. Meh, uninterested. Completely and totally uninterested. That is, unless I can make it hit harder. Hold on, let me see what I can do here. How hard can I make this hit? With all of these buffs right here, I bet I can get this up to a reasonable damage level. And how fast does it fire? Let's find out. I'm going to let that sit in the slot for just a second. We're not going to go to any of the other rooms right now because I just want to make sure that this is doing... It fires okay fast. Not like super fast, but it fires... Let's test it out for a little bit. So I need to be careful about getting myself caught up in my own AoE right now. That's the only thing so far that I need to adjust. Yeah, I could see that backfiring very, very badly. So maybe not use that when enemies are close to me. Like, so for example, there's like a minimum range that I want them at. Oh, it still stuns me from that distance too. Well, never mind then. What do I know about anything? Does it always stun me whenever I get a stun off on it? Because that seems like a very, very troublesome ability. And in fact, it is costing me quite a bit of health. Let's take a look at the spell one more time. Oh, and a chance, I see that's the problem, is that my reading comprehension was piss poor. And a chance to stun you every time that it's cast. So that ability actually comes with a fairly sizable detriment, one that could get us into trouble. But it does do a lot of damage. There is that. It does do a ton of damage. I don't even know how I just paused the game. It just did that. Oh, it's the spacebar. Meh, I learned something new today. I learned something new. How dare you? How dare you teach me something new on my own entertaining time? Well, then we actually run a pretty substantial risk of injuring ourselves if we use it too much. I think it's like one of those spells you kind of want to like steer away from, because you do have the potential to sort of like stun yourself. So essentially we want to wait until the enemy is a longer ways away, or at least can't close the gap with us before we start spamming it out like I would normally spam any other spell. It does look like it only activates on hit though, so it does so much damage though. I mean, that's the other part, is it hurts the enemy so much that I want to use it spammy. Just fire a couple. I may not stick with the kinetic bolt. I am rethinking the kinetic bolt right now. Throw a sword at those guys. Because I have a little bit of range right now, I can run the risk of getting stunned. I do like this spell a lot though. This spell is pretty awesome. Well, I was gonna say that I'm robed in darkness, but I like girded in darkness better. That makes it sound like the darkness actually cares about me and is just like swirling around my special purpose. All of the darkness swirling around my special purpose. If you don't know the story behind the special purpose, I've come to the realization I may not have told that story, or at least I may have like aborted it and not told the story after a certain amount of time. So the special purpose story, I kind of don't want to be stunned right now because as I remember, they hit really, really hard when they catch you with one of those spells. Ooh, yeah. There, that actually was a fairly wide range stun, interestingly enough. I wasn't expecting that to hit that hard. We're still on the earlier floors, so I can still kind of even out the detriments to this. And what is it about the special purpose story that makes it so that I always get off topic and never finish it? So it's a very simple story. It's just that when we were kids, I had a friend whose mom referred to his wang as his special purpose. That's pretty much the story, and it was funny as hell. Like, his mom would still say it even when he was like 14 or 15, which I guess in retrospect is kind of strange, but anyways. You might be wondering right now, like, how often do these people talk about their son's wang? Well, enough for me to have a story about it, so reasonable to moderate, I guess. Throw the sword! Ooh, a fire rune. That's what I was waiting on. I wanted a fire rune. I want to mix fire with darkness or something. I heard somebody suggest a spell like in episode 3 or 4 that sounded pretty awesome, and I'm ready to attempt it, so. If you're wondering how long... Yeah, I need to stop doing that. If you're wondering how long the delay is between me recording and you seeing these episodes, about 5 days, I guess, because I just now put up episode 3. So just be aware that there is kind of a little bit of a delay before I can even put your advice into motion. I need to stay away from this spell. This spell is getting me in trouble. Let's go with darkness and fire, see what's up. A slow burn. It's a buff? I may go back... as much as I hate doing it, I mean, I don't hate doing it that much. I may go back to this combination right here because I like it. So is that a buff, or how does this work? Oh, it appears to be... Oh, wow. It appears to be a fairly serious long-duration buff. So it makes me deal a whole bunch of extra damage. That sounds nice. I like dealing extra damage. Extra damage is always pleasurable. I'd like to test it out in this room, in fact, because we do have a lot of enemies that have pretty solid shins on them, so they can take some extra hits. Oop, I hit the wrong button. My badsies. Oh, they're burning. Yay! I'm mudding at the moment, which is not quite so... So is the burning actually doing anything right now? Or, like, what's going on there? Like, is the burning accomplishing anything, or are we just burning for burning's sake? Not to say that there's anything wrong, because I do enjoy setting stuff on fire, but it seems like a habit that could rapidly get out of control, and possibly it might have some incarcerating circumstances that follow it. Critical strikes increase your move speed, 10% on... I'll go with that one since I've been stacking crit anyways. So maybe we'll get a little bonus here or there. Let's go back this way. I'm going to try and focus on... So, deal additional damage but over a long duration. How long of a duration would be my question right there. Oh, I should have gone through this door. The southern door. And really, I should just be spamming this out every chance that I get because the cooldown is short, the duration is long. And so actually, I would prefer that spells like this just become passives. Like you actually equip them almost like you equip gear just to save you the button press every, couple seconds. But maybe they want the game to be spammy. That's a definite legitimate design decision. Maybe they want you to be spamming buttons all the time and kind of running around practicing your free key skill. That thing needs to stop following me. It looks like a big old just swirling miasma of fireflies, and it makes me uncomfortable. We don't have fireflies where I grew up. Seriously, I've never seen a firefly. We don't have them. My dad said they have them all over the place in the South because he grew up in Georgia, and the other half of my family's from Arkansas. So as you can tell there, my family is definitely Southern. They have like this tendency, it's funny, like when they're out in public or whatever, they talk just kind of like Californians or whatever. But if you have like family conversations where maybe a few drinks have been imbibed or anything like that, drinks have been quaffed and so forth, they start going into like this Southern drawl and they'll start talking about like grits, like chitlins, just all kinds of random stuff. I have had chitlins. I've had cracklings. I've had a number of interesting Southern cuisines, to be honest. I love okra. We eat okra at almost every family gathering. Okra is the most delicious thing on earth. It's kind of like, if you've never had okra, it's sort of like zucchini. It doesn't really have a flavor, per se. Ooh, I'm getting trapped up against the walls. No! Oh, you may not push me up against the wall like that. Why do these things have so many... Have they been buffed or something? Because they have a really, really serious amount of health right now. I don't know, those skeletons seem like they are, maybe it's one of these mirrors that's doing something nasty to me right now. Anyways, mirrors are always doing nasty things to me. I'd be feeling great about myself, and then you see a mirror and you just be like, ah, flaws. Oh, did a thief just run away with my stuff? Little bastard. Oh, that's upsetting. It's my fault, too, because I wasn't paying attention. To floor number 3! Off we go. We can increase our... Sure, let's increase our shock level. I play with shock spells enough at this point to where I'm thinking we might as well just stick with it. I might as well ride this out to the end. I do like this spell, but the chance of it to just like stun me makes me sad and also terrified because I was definitely losing more health using it than I was saving. What is this? Living statues again? Sounds good. Burn! Burn in long duration dots! Over here, we have another one of these little dudes. Okay. I can't even tell if that thing was firing at me. I'm not even sure what was going on right there. It was definitely like spitting or doing something uncouth. Its couth was und. Although I never hear somebody say that he's couth. You only hear people say uncouth. Nobody ever calls somebody like, that guy's totally couth. Because couth doesn't sound like it's... That doesn't sound like it's a compliment. It's because it's got like a hard consonant and it's also got a sound, and so it sounds like they're swearing at you almost. I'm gonna go with the 5% damage again. I don't like any of the other options. We got a couple combiners right here that we can play around with. I like... Let's go with water. I'm sorry, light and water. A crystal sphere. 19 damage that bounces around and explodes after a few seconds. That seems like one of those attacks you would like accidentally, although it's kind of humorous. I could set people on fire with water if I used this the way that I'm thinking about using it. what does that buff? So it gets a bigger AoE if you add... It does more damage if you add light to it, and it does more AoE space if you add water to it. Okay, we have another combiner. I'll probably go with entropy and light. A wispy wonder. Oh, we already did that. Damn it. I've already seen this one. I don't like this spell because it's too hard to hit things with it. I've got to actually aim. I wish the cooldown started while you were on the menu, but I know why it doesn't happen because that would be totally pointless. So basically, that's kind of like a grenade. It does a lot of damage. I mean... It does a ton of damage, so if you can actually get it to, like, impact anything, I mean, more power to you. Yeah, you see that right there? It one-shots just about everything. So... I think the best plan with this, though, would be not to rely on it, maybe. I mean, it's a spell that I kind of am considering hotkeying instead. And then we spam it every little bit. Like, we'll just hit the key whenever we want to fire one. Let's say we have, like, a stationary enemy in a corner. That's where it would be the best. It's essentially just functioning like a grenade so that I can flush people out with it. So maybe I'll put that as my number 2 key. We'll go back to Mind Spikes over here. I love Reverberation. I really sincerely do. Don't think that I'm avoiding Reverberation right now. Have I done Darkness and Mind or Darkness and Water? Let's find out. Darkness, I haven't done Darkness in like anything, so I've done Dark Crystal. Okay, so Darkness and Mind we haven't done, and Darkness and Water we have, it's Dark Crystal. Okay, I remember Dark Crystal. Let's go Darkness and Mind then. Dark Manifestation. Shoots a dark bullet that cannot collide with anything until it manifests. It manifests after traveling a percentage of its total distance. Let's try that out for a minute. The Mind Spikes aren't really that valuable to me, so we can just get rid of it. I mean, I could make more Mind Spikes in a heartbeat. So I think once it starts glowing, it's actually manifested. Let's play around with it. I mean, I like trying new things, so we'll give it a go. Yeah, you gotta have range on this dude for it to work. So basically, I need him like off screen for that to even have a chance of dealing damage. Throw a sword at him, see if I can get him stunned. Okay, so we need to buff that basically so that we can lower the actual manifest distance. If we can make that happen, oh my god. So wait, those explode into more of those, or did he just drop? Oh, I got pricked. No! That totally is lame. I'm gonna try and cut this corner a little tight, and then I'm just gonna try and draw a direction on him right there so I can get a couple rounds off on him. I think it also might be worthwhile to maybe consider... There we go, we'll have him burn now. My god. Okay, well... This is not working out the way that I had planned. So that spell, I think that's a spell that we would want to store for a little bit. And then after we had stored it for a while, my suggestion would be that we should buff up the manifestation aspect of it so that it manifests a little bit closer, because it is a good spell. It does deal a lot of damage, but it's a spell that needs a little bit of work before you can do anything. Oh, I can actually buff that up a bunch. Yeah, let's lower that a little bit right there. Good. So now it manifests after 30% of its distance, so it's a little bit closer. It still doesn't look that much closer, but it is. It's a little bit. Let's go back over here. We'll wipe out all these little bushy plants over here because I really, really don't feel like having any pricks in me right now. I don't feel like being pricked. I don't feel like having that in me. I don't feel like having any part of this whole thing. We're going to go back over to the right. And actually, it appears as though we're going to do one more room, but it appears as though I forgot what time it was. So, looks like you're going to... I think it's a little bit longer of an episode right now, judging by my timer. I think we should be alright. I try to keep them to 25 minutes. There's a reason I keep things to 25 minutes. A, it's the sweet spot for my humor and my ability to talk. And then B, oh my god, it does so much damage. I think it also has like the added benefit of like traveling through enemies and hitting things in the back line that you wouldn't otherwise be able to hit. However, it does have kind of a slow cast time. I wish that it fired a little bit faster, but given the damage it's dealing, I think it might be something that I can live with. Let me get rid of you. It's like something that needs to be targeted, basically. I don't suppose there's any hearts or anything in here, right? No, obviously not. I'm just going to continue to play worse and worse and worse then, because, man, they don't own me. Oh, there's a den left down here. I destroy you, den of iniquity, and also rats, I suppose. Like, I'm not sure if I totally qualify as iniquitous. I mean, I just do mostly rat things. I don't know if you can apply human moral standards to rat actions. I mean, come on now. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerdcast for the next episode of Runers. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. I will say take care out there, everybody, and...